Hey guys, it's Amber Rain Davis from NotableInk.com. Thanks for joining me today. I'm with the Hedgehog Hollow with their February subscription box, and we're going to create a card with this floral down on the bottom. Now this is a really intricate floral. There's a lot of detail to this image. So I stamped this first in black and found that a lot of the detail got lost with the dark black color. And so I switched over to a light green. This is Frayed Leaf from Alta New, and I'm going to stamp this. Now I am going to keep my black version up in the corner or off to the side because I found with the lighter ink it was a little harder to see that detail when I was coloring, so I'm going to use that black image as a reference. I'm going to use some Copic markers, the B00, 02, 04, and 06 for the flowers. And usually when I'm coloring an image for the first time, I might start with my lightest colors and then bring in the darkest. And then once I get a feel for how I want the coloring to look, then you'll see as I go on to the next bloom that I actually start with my darker and move on to the lightest color. So originally I was thinking I was just going to use 00, 02, and 04, but I found that that didn't have enough contrast. So you can see that that flower looks a little anemic. There's not a lot of contrast to it. And so as I'm doing this one, now I decided, okay, I need to bring in the B06 to just darken that up and add a little more character to the blooms. So here I'm coming in with my darkest marker first, then I'm going to blend that out with the B04 and the 02, and then to finish it off, I'll add the 00 to the outest part, the furthest part of the petal. So same formula as I always use. So I add shadow at the base where the petals overlap and anywhere where the artist has indicated that there's a wrinkle or a fold in the petal. So kind of like at the tips where those wrinkles might be. And that's really it. I find that florals are really easy to color. With this image, I'm kind of keeping things really loose and sketchy. I'm not really going for smooth blends. In the end, I feel like this looks a little bit like maybe a fabric pattern or something like that. Here I'm taking YG67 and I'm just adding the structure. So I'm starting with my darkest marker here. I'm adding the structure, kind of like the detail lines to these leaves, and then I'll come in with YG63 and 61 to fill out the rest of those leaves. I'm just adding a little bit of blue to these little buds here. Same blue markers. And then I'll come in with the YG63 and soften up those detail lines that I've added. And then I'll finish off the leaves with the YG61. After I'm done with the leaves, I decided that the light green that I used for the image, it was too light. So I'm coming in with the YG67 and just adding a little more detail to the petals. I think I'd end up adding a little bit more detail to the leaves as well, and just to darken those up a little bit. And we're moving on to the stamping of the sentiment. So I just conditioned the stamp by rubbing my palm over it just to get the stamp from clear to a cloudy surface so that it would take the ink better. And then I'm going to use the Thinking of You. So this girlfriend stamp, there's a whole stamp set in this kit that has all of these large handwritten sentiments. These were written by one of our design team members, Jessica Francisco. If you follow her, she is on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube as a Card Day's Work. She does fantastic work, so I encourage you to follow her if you're not already. And I decided that I needed a frame around this, so I'm just using this ruler and I'm putting about a 3/8 inch border. I think that is what that is. And I went over the edge a little bit on the top there, so then I decided instead of having just that crisp border, I would go ahead and do some sketchy lines with that as well, which I think matches the card nicely. So I just found a thicker pen and I'm just adding some kind of wiggly lines to that to mask that little mistake that I had up at the top. I love how this card turned out. I don't think that I have Copic colored images that have been stamped in a dye ink before like this, unless it was a no line watercoloring, but this isn't no line because obviously you can still see the green outlines, and we even darkened it up with some touches here with a darker marker. So I think it is a cool effect. I hope that you guys try it out. If you do, tag me at Notable Ink and the Hedgehog Hollow at the Hedgehog Hollow. This is my last post for the Hedgehog Hollow. I want to thank you guys for joining me on this exciting journey that I had with them. The team has been absolutely amazing, and I enjoyed collaborating with these talented artists so much. I want to thank them, and then also Alex, Justine, and Nikki for bringing me onto the team and kind of seeing that I had potential. Thank you so much for stopping by today, and I'll see you real soon with more inspiration.